Public hearings are now underway for vote centers in Du Bois County. We will have more on last night's opening hearing, plus a Ferdinand business is set to expand its operations. We'll have more from last night's council meeting, and Purdue Extension educator Jan Dugan is our guest this evening on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin this evening with a Jasper man's arrest following a burglary investigation. Now, back on Monday morning, Jasper police received a report from Zach Fleming of Jasper concerning a burglary that had taken place at his home in the 2400 block of Terry Lane. An iPad 5 Air, a Kindle Fire, and a 32-inch Vizio TV were stolen from Fleming's residence. Over the course of the investigation, police identified 31-year-old Matthew Berg of Jasper as a suspect in the case. Berg was subsequently brought in by police for questioning. During that questioning, Berg initially told police that he and a friend of his had committed the burglary. Further investigation by police determined that Berg had acted alone in the burglary, which Berg later admitted to police. Berg was lodged in the Du Bois County Security Center on $2,000 bond. He is charged with a Class D felony for theft, a Class B felony for burglary, and a Class A misdemeanor for false informing. Police say all of the stolen items were recovered. A Washington man landed behind bars yesterday following an investigation into child molestation allegations. 19-year-old Jalen Elsroth of Washington was taken into custody yesterday afternoon on warrant for a Class B felony count for child molestation. The charges are in connection with an assault on a then 12-year-old girl back on New Year's Day of last year. Now, officers with the Daviess County Sheriff's Department were alerted to the situation back on December 5th after being contacted by an investigator with the Indiana Department of Child Services. A Sheriff's Department detective then interviewed the now 14-year-old victim. The victim told the detective that Elsroth forced her to have sex following a New Year's party last winter. The victim also stated that the incident took place at Elsroth's mother's house in the 2200 block of State Road 57 South. According to the victim, the incident began around 4 a.m. last New Year's Day when Elsroth began looking at her awkwardly. Later on, the two were in Elsroth's bedroom when the girl tried to leave after Elsroth asked her to have sex with him. According to the affidavit in the case, Elsroth then blocked his bedroom door and locked it. It's at that point when the incident took place. Afterwards, Elsroth told the girl not to tell anyone about the incident, and authorities say the girl promised not to because she was afraid and she did not want her mother to blame her for the incident. That's not the end of the story, however. The victim told investigators that Elsroth texted her about a month later to apologize and to say that he missed her. Authorities didn't become involved in this case until the victim said something about it to a school counselor. Now, when he was interviewed back on December 14th, Elsroth denied even knowing the victim. Elsroth then asked police if he was a suspect or witness in the case, and after being told that he was a suspect, though not under arrest, he asked for an attorney. Elsroth is currently in the Daviess County Security Center where he is being held on $25,000 bond. Turning to other news this evening, public hearings concerning a potential change in voting for Du Bois County residents are now underway. The first in a series of meetings to receive public input about the proposed voting centers for the county was hosted last night by Du Bois County Clerk Bridget Jarboe and members of the Vote Center Study Committee at Du Bois Middle School. Using a PowerPoint presentation, Jarboe helped point out the main issues of the proposal, then gave the floor to anyone who wished to speak. Now, over the past year, a bipartisan study committee made up of Jarboe and other election board members, elected county officials, and the county's Democratic and Republican chairman looked into how the county and the residents could benefit from the voting centers before making the switch ahead of this May's primary election. The move looks to relieve many logistical issues surrounding having about 24 polling locations in the county during elections. Jarboe says the voting centers would provide a huge cost savings for Du Bois County.
And anytime we can help save the county money, that is always going to be to our benefit. However, we don't want to have any of the voters feel that to discourage them from voting in any way, shape, or form. I think this is a step in in direction of technology, and it's kind of moving forward with this. This does not work for everybody. Not every county in Indiana would be able to utilize or go to a vote center situation, but with the concentration of people being during the working hours, being in Jasper, Huntingburg, Ferdinand, we just kind of melt and develop that way anyway.
Jarbo says the meetings give folks a chance to come in, find out what the vote centers are about and how they will be different from what they are currently used to. Last night's initial meeting, despite producing a small turnout from the public, lasted about an hour. However, many questions and comments were shared. Jarbo says it will be the public who determines how officials go forward.
If they don't like the idea, we need to know. If they like the idea, we need to know. It's their county, it's their money, it's their vote. This is all about them, but it's making logical sense of it. So it's very important. We want to, I'm begging people to come out and talk to us. Spend an hour with us and ask questions.
Under the proposal, 2 vote centers would be in Jasper and the other 5 would be in Huntingburg, Ferdinand, DuBois, Schnellville, and Holland. 3 more public meetings are set to take place over the next couple of weeks. These will be held next Tuesday at Jasper High School, Thursday, January 23rd at Southridge High School, and Tuesday, January 28th at Forest Park Junior-Senior High School. All of the meetings are scheduled to start at 6:30 p.m. A major area business is looking to expand its Ferdinand location. Last night, the Ferdinand Town Council heard from Attorney Bill Schoenfeld concerning a request for a tax abatement by Master Brand Cabinets. The company is looking to expand its current Ferdinand production facility, and the proposed abatement would cover $1.1 million in new manufacturing equipment for the company. The company says it is looking to add 135 new jobs by June 1st. Ferdinand Town Council President Ken Seacard says the company's investment is a big deal to the town.
That's pretty significant, and we're working with them. Everybody's hearing about the personal property tax of businesses. Well, this is the tax that what we're going to do is, rather than hit them with it as they put the stuff in, we're going to delay it for a period of time, let them come in, get everything up and running, and then finally, the town will start getting our money down the road.
A special meeting between members of the Town Council and representatives of Master Brand is set to be held during the final week of January in through February 1st, though no official date was set at last night's meeting. On a related note, Seacard stated during last night's meeting that the council is concerned about the potential elimination of the business personal property tax on the state level. Seacard says the town would take a big financial hit if the tax were to be eliminated.
From the town of Ferdinand, I've been trying to find how much of that business personal property tax we get every year and have not actually heard anything. Now tonight we heard a report from someone who said what Jasper was and what Huntingburg was. I kind of took Huntingburg's figured in, and I'm sitting here thinking for us it could be around $100,000, and that's significant when we lose that out of our budget. A couple years ago we had a business change their property tax and we lost $21,000. That was the price of a police car.
In other business last night, Seacard announced that the Department of Homeland Security has awarded the town a $3,000 grant for a new AM radio station in town. Now, this station would be comprised of 3 transmitters located at various points around town and an engineering station. The radio station would be utilized to announce delays or cancellations in town services like trash pickup in the event of bad weather or extreme cold like what hit our listening area last week. This would cover the corporate limits of the town of Ferdinand. Seacard says the station will serve as an added convenience.
It's going to be, fairly cheap for us to place in, or to put in place. Everything is run through the Ethernet, through the computer. So our new town manager, Chris James, could actually make the announcement, hit record and send it, and then it just plays itself over and over again until we, have to change the recording or it clears up, so we turn everything off.
In final notes, the council voted to re-elect Seacard as council president, and Ron Wire will serve as vice president for 2014. The council also decided to relinquish a $15,000 grant previously awarded to the town by the DuBois County Community Foundation for the ongoing amphitheater project. Seacard says the money is being relinquished since the amphitheater project is currently on hold. He says the town can reapply for that grant money down the road when the town is ready to move forward with that project. Now, last night's meeting also marked the first meeting for new town manager Chris James. James, who was formally hired as town manager at last month's meeting, started his job a week ago, Monday. One local company has announced changes in its leadership. Jasper Engines and Transmissions has announced that Craig Like has accepted a new leadership opportunity with the Jasper Production System, or JPS team. Like has been with the company for 19 years, including the last 17 in charge of the Jasper Transmission Division. In a news release, Like says he is looking forward to the opportunity to join the Jasper Production System team. He says the change allows him to become more familiar with the overall production system in addition to supporting associates and driving organizational improvement. The company also announced that Sarah Schmidt has been named to replace Like as the new Jasper Transmission Division Manager. Schmidt has been with the company for 8 years and has filled several roles, most recently serving as Division Manager for Jasper Certified Components. Schmidt says she is honored and excited to move to the transmission team. Jasper Vice President of Drivetrain Remanufacturing John Schrader says the company looks for leaders with multiple experiences that can develop processes and people, as well as lead change. He says both Like and Schmidt have proven track records, and the company is confident that both will do well. The state of Indiana released A2F accountability grades today, and local schools once again came home with a good report card. Now, locally, Northeast, Southeast, and Southwest DuBois schools, along with Greater Jasper schools, all received A grades for the second year in a row. North Spencer schools also received an A. Scores were calculated by a scale of 0 to 4, with 4 being the highest performing schools. All 5 aforementioned local schools received scores of 3.82 or higher. Across the state, 289 school corporations were graded this year. Only 4 of them failed, including Indianapolis Public Schools. 94 districts received A's, 82 were given B's, 91 C's were given out, and 18 school districts received D grades. Overall, there were 2 fewer F's handed out this year. Additionally, 25 more districts received B's, and 27 fewer overall C, D, and F grades were distributed this year. Finally this evening, a local community organization is set to give out scholarship grant awards in the near future. The DuBois County Community Foundation has announced that up to $46,000 in scholarship grant awards will be available this year through various charitable scholarship endowments. The scholarships will be available to graduating seniors at all 4 DuBois County high schools. These scholarships will include the Doris Ackerman and Family Nursing Scholarship, the Raphael Blessinger Memorial Scholarship, and the Sarah Gobert Scholarship Fund, among others. Now, student eligibility for the scholarships is determined by the high school that they have or will be graduating from. Additionally, each scholarship has specific criteria with it. Applicants should use the application that is available on the Community Foundation's website at dccommunityfoundation.org. To get to the application, you can go to the website, click the Scholarships button on the right side of the home page, and the 2014 Scholarship Application document can be found there. The deadline for submitting applications is 4 p.m. on March 1st. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform featuring Purdue Extension educator Jan Dugan. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.